Things are spinning. Supposedly we are live. Hello, Dr. Brown.
Hello.
Someone may show up, maybe in the comment section. Maybe they'll tell us we're live. But
Maybe.
maybe we'll just have a conversation.
Yeah, we're forced to have a conversation. Our most hated thing to talk to each other, isn't it?
It is funny how we don't talk to each other, like at all.
No, well, I have messaged you on Instagram, on WhatsApp. I received no answer. So I mean,
You send
I
me-
wonder
you
whose fault that is. I don't know, but
Probably mine, but you could call too. Oh, you can't call me, can you? No, you're not allowed to call me. You can't call
I
me.
incur massive long distance charges. You can call anywhere in North America. I can only call in Canada, which I think, if you needed any divine signs, portents, as it were, that you need to move to Canada, this is it.
Oh, I'm there. Oh, we can't talk about news yet because the hour isn't here. So remind me of moving to Canada.
We shall wait.
I'll have news.
We have 9 minutes. I mean, it's
I know,
possible
but-
nobody will show up, right? It's possible.
Well, let's see. I see two comments, so somebody's there. Someone says
Travesty.
boom, and someone says you are. Yes, you are. Loud and clear. So we must be streaming to somewhere. Someone.
Perfect.
Someone is listening to these inane words. Speaking of inane words, don't you have anything to say?
Once upon a time,
And you do
there
not
was a
disappoint.
short story. The end.
The end.
That was a short story.
What happened to they all lived happily ever after?
No, they didn't.
So
Short story, just-
you sent me a moose the other day, a moose story. Someone was
did.
feeding a moose a carrot by holding it in her mouth.
Yeah, it sounds like a really. I thought that was such a smart idea. I thought you should absolutely, when you see a big moose, and you should put a carrot in your mouth and let it just eat it out of your mouth. That sounds like a really evolutionary, adaptive thing to do.
You should do that when you're out on your beaver hunts. Find
Yeah.
a moose and
Find
do
a
that.
moose.
Make sure it is
Put the
recorded.
carrot in. Yeah. Later they added, because it actually was a video on from the Instagram page of Eddie Bauer.
Eddie Bauer, yeah.
It wasn't Eddie Bauer himself, because he's dead. Probably because he was feeding a moose a carrot through his mouth. But in any case, in this case, they did add information saying that this was actually from a moose sanctuary or something, where this was a moose that was raised by people because it was a
Right.
rescued moose.
It was
So I guess
quite a
it's,
tame
you know,
moose, especially as far as meese are concerned.
Yeah.
Because don't do that. Just in case there's.
I wouldn't do it.
Just in case there's any doubt, don't do that.
Yeah. Also, that animal's head was about as big as that woman's rump. So I mean, I'd be careful,
Yeah, as you should be.
Same.
As you should be.
as one should be.
Rahul says hello from India, and Helen says hello. Helen is from
Hello.
Canada. She didn't say
She
so,
is.
but I happen
I
to
can
know
call
this.
her.
Oh, well, go ahead.
We
We'll
should
wait.
ask her about a phone plan, because I can always call her and then she can relay to you
If she has a good phone plan.
if she does.
Yeah, so this is why you sometimes Skype. No, not Skype. You
A WhatsApp
WhatsApp
call.
call me. Yeah. But that
And then
never
I
works.
remember that the
never
last
works.
time I did that you said, "What is this? This is a third world country?" And then you hung up, and then you called me on an actual phone. But I mean, again, I can't do that. So anyway, I'm just saying. Third
That
world
may or
country.
may not have transpired exactly as you portrayed it.
Yeah.
And we have a hello from Brazil.
Hello.
Hello, Brazil.
Bom dia. Although who knows? I don't know what time it is there. I don't know.
Well, evening. East Coast?
Evening,
East time?
yeah.
Evening.
Some sort of evening.
From Canada, Ricky. Mr. Ward from Vancouver says hello. Even gives a little happy wave. How do you like that?
Hello.
And Ricky agrees that Canadian phone plans are atrocious. Atrocious.
Yeah.
Well, we have a couple of minutes. They don't have any kind of plan that lets you call all of North America? Because I think that's
can
standard
call,
here.
I can call anywhere in Canada.
Right.
I mean, I can call anyone in Canada. I guess I can also call anywhere in Canada. I can call anyone anywhere in Canada, no matter where they are, no matter where I am, anywhere, anyone in Canada I can call. But as soon as I call to the US, it's long distance and it's very expensive.
Oh.
It's strange. It's a strange thing because there's another person in the US that Pierre Miller, who texts me But then when I want to text him back, I think I should probably send him a message through Instagram because that's how we communicate. Because if I send him a text message, again, it's like a $5 text.
Wow, that's ridiculous. But
Yeah, I know.
you need a phone from the United States.
Yeah, that's probably what I do need. Yeah.
Mr. Ward agrees that the Canadian phone plans are the worst. Stacy says hello from Portland, Oregon.
Hello.
Literally the worst phone plans worldwide. And he's been around the world, he knows. I don't know if he's had phone plans around the world, but yes,
But the
you were saying.
advantage would be, were I to get a phone from the US, and I also have my Canadian phone, then I can call myself.
From your U.S. phone, but don't try to call from your Canadian phone to
No,
your
but
U.S.
not the other way around. It's a one-way street then. Yeah.
I don't know. I think there is some small extra charge for me if I go to Canada. No, it's part of my plan.
What?
It's part of my plan. It's just, if I go to Europe, there's an extra charge, like $1 a day for being in Europe,
Yeah.
because they want to make money. But if I go to Canada, it's my usual plan limits, whatever they are.
Huh.
So I'm sorry. Sorry. I guess we can't talk anymore.
Well, I mean, we can talk, but it'll have to be like this or some sort of solution like WhatsApp, and then I'm like, yeah, it's a third world country. I know, nobody uses WhatsApp. No. You know, so then I have to deal with that. So I mean, it's a
You know, you deal with what you want to deal with.
yeah, or not,
Or
right?
not.
Or not.
Ed says hello from Connecticut. That would be just in case you need to know. Good evening, Dr. Brown.
Yes, good evening. No, that's good to know because I don't know these things. Like I know it gets later to the one side and it gets earlier to the other side.
Yeah, somehow that works. Same thing happens every day. I have yet to figure it out.
Yeah, who knows?
In the meantime, the comments are they're solving your phone problem there.
Oh, good.
So you can review the comments later.
I'm happy that we.
Someone, Roman, it's 3 a.m. in Spain. What are you doing here? We must be very entertaining.
Well, we are. That should be a theme song. It should just be the "Let Me Entertain You," Robbie Williams.
Not bad, not bad. See if you can get the rights for that. Or we'll just use it. It's easier to get forgiveness, right? I mean, you'd have to call one of us and say, stop that. And then we'd explain why we just can't stop that.
I don't have a plan that's adequate, so then he'll have to call you.
Apparently I can call you. It doesn't charge you, right? Yeah. So
No, it doesn't charge me.
Right.
No.
I'll just have to call you.
You can call me every day.
I can't promise that, but I'll consider it.
Theoretically, if you were to be so inclined, you could call me every day
it's a
and not
hypothetical?
incur an extra penny a cost.
That's right.
Whereas if I were to do that for a month, I'd be bankrupt.
Well, then I guess it's on me, Dr. Brown.
It is on you.
So tell me all about your schedule. What's a good time to reach you?
Yeah, that's true. Well, most days now are fine because the term is rounding up. I only have tests next week, so you can call me tomorrow.
Oh, well,
In fact, we can end this now. You can just call me.
I'll call you as soon as this is over so that
Done.
we can get that out of the way for this month.
Exactly. Now we're good.
This month, yeah, it's almost over.
I know.
We're about to start the real show. We can talk about all the news. Did you bring news? I hope you brought news. I brought no news.
I have oodles.
Oodles of news. Oh, it'll be
Oodles of news.
the Dr. Brown News Hour. How's that sound?
Yeah. Do you have news?
I have anecdotes,
Oh, that's good. I
but
like that.
not humorous.
Well, then I like it less. But we can make it. We can look for the humor in it.
Oh, well, we'll find something. We'll find something. But we still have 2 minutes. We gotta, just keep this up.
Now we have to save it. We have to restrain ourselves. It's difficult. It's difficult because
I know we could do the whole thing in 10 minutes and say goodbye.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will say this. I have 5 pens that I can show.
5 pens.
So that's.
Well, good. I'm here to see the pens. I have 5 pens too, but you've seen them all, so.
Oh, it doesn't matter. And you have a bike.
Oh yeah, back there somewhere. You see the bike. That bike. I got that bike from Tasmania, of all places.
From Tasmania.
Tasmania. That's a little island south of Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
where it's probably.
I don't know what time it is.
It's
but I do know
probably
that
good
it is
morning.
an
Who
island.
knows what time it is?
I also know that I can't call it, but I know that it is an island. Yeah. Is it? What was it shipped from Tasmania?
I'm pretty sure you can call Australia Tasmania.
Probably.
It's just the cost would be.
$100.
Yes, the company is in Tasmania, and so I had to contact them and say, please send me a bicycle. And they shipped it, FedEx, I think, brought it to my door. To my door.
That's amazing.
Yeah. All during, a pandemic. Hey, it's 8 o'clock my time. Must be 7 o'clock your time. It's time to start this show.
It seems to be.
Let's see, someone is from Montreal. And then there's more phone talk. If you'd all like to shout out where you're from, I'll try to read it aloud, just out of interest. What's new, Dr. Brown? What's new? What the hell happened? What the hell happened?
It turns out, I don't know if you know this, that it's 2021. Did you know?
I had no idea. How did that happen?
Yeah. Apparently, I don't know how it happened, but all of a sudden it was 2021. Do you remember Y2K? Do you remember? I was like, 000, the world, the whole world.
I remember the New Year's Eve, 1999, leading into Y2K vividly. Yes.
And nothing happened.
End of the world. Nothing happened. No.
Nothing
Brian's from Oregon. Cynthia's from Chicago. Anyway, why is it 2022? Did you say 2022?
Not that I know of.
Okay, 2021. Yeah, that happened. That happened a few months ago. A few months ago.
3 months. So a quarter of the year.
January, February, March. That's 3 months. That's a quarter of the year. Has already gone by.
It's already gone.
Already gone.
Will never return. Gone.
Are you just waxing philosophical? Is that what you're doing?
Nothing left.
Nothing left. That's it.
Nothing
Today is
weird.
March 31st, 2021, and in the history of March 31st, 2021, this is the best ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so.
So speaking of
In
news...
fact, I'm willing to say that if all the March 31st, given that we are doing this now, this is probably the best ever March 31st.
It could be. I do not have all of them committed to memory, so this is the one I remember the most, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And that's all that counts, really, isn't it?
Kuala Lumpur says hello. Austin, Texas says hello. San Antonio. Then we got back to Chicago. What the hell happened in March? For me personally, you are now looking at a person who has been half vaccinated. I got my first shot of 2 1 week ago today, as a matter of fact. So I'm halfway to fully vaccinated, whatever that means.
That's amazing. Good news.
Good news. How about you?
I am not, because I think it will probably be a few months before people my specific age bracket will be vaccinated in this part of the world. But I eagerly await it, and we shall see when. One day.
One day, probably soon.
Soon.
It seems to be happening here in the States quite a bit. The qualifications or tier groups, whoever is qualified to get a shot, changes, it seems, from state to state. Each state is making up its own mind, but apparently, and it seems like, in almost all states, the entire population over the age 16 will be able, if they can get an appointment, to be vaccinated as of May 1st. But that can change. It couldn't be earlier.
But still, that's good. That's pretty effective and pretty efficient, right? So, yeah.
Well, in my mind, everybody has to get it. So,
yeah, indeed.
Open the floodgates.
Open
the floodgates. Anything else from you? Personal news?
No, it's been a fairly quiet month for any spectacular happenings. It's just that for me, in a work sense, it's the end of the term. So this always flies by, because then you get to the end of every course, and then it's the last classes and everything. So it's just some tests left. I've had some interesting adventures. I can tell you the brief adventure I had with a certain courier company that may or may not be DHL. They were about to deliver a parcel. I was here all night. I didn't see anyone. Then they said I wasn't home. I was home. They tried again the next night. I didn't see anyone. They said I wasn't home. I was home. This was a Friday. I called them on Monday. It turned out that it was probably an error, and I was so happy with that assessment. So they started an investigation. It turned out that they did not have my phone number. That is, the courier himself, the delivery person, did not have my phone number and was unable to figure out the intercom of the building. I recommended that you can always start by punching in the apartment number and then see what happens, but this was apparently an insurmountable obstacle. Then, with this information provided by me, 2 days later, a delivery was made and everyone was happy. This was probably the most exciting thing that happened to me this month, so that says a lot about this month. But that was what happened in my life.
And this package, did it contain pens?
It did contain pens.
Right.
It contained 4 pens.
4 pens, some of which we may see this evening.
You may see them
or
all.
this morning, depending on where you are.
No holes barred.
No holes barred.
You can see everything.
And speaking of pens, the TWSBI Draco limited edition was released today, and as far as I can tell, is gone, sold out. And Ian Schoen released a pen today, and I can verify that has been, I think that sold out within 15 minutes. So good pens are going fast. I did not purchase either one of them. So it's not my fault that they sold out in any way, shape, or form. And I don't have one to show you because I didn't get one and they're gone. What have you got?
That was amazing. I'm so happy that we were able to have this.
Another piece of news that you might be able to shed some light on is about the purchase of a pen store somewhere in the United States by someone we may or may not know from the Netherlands.
This is true. He also reminded me, by the way, that you owe him your 3 favorite pens video, and I was specifically asked to remind you on the air.
On the air, and so you do his bidding. I see.
Yes. It's dance monkey, dance monkey, dance monkey. Hey. Now, having said that, yes, Joost Appelboom purchased a pen store in Boston. So that's, I think, very exciting because that means that the Appelboom empire is expanding, and I think it's very nice for him. There are all kinds of, I think, pragmatic reasons to have a shop in the U.S., and I'm very happy for him that he was able to pull that off. I was also asked to come over there to open the shop because I opened the store. I think I
cut the ribbon.
Helped cut the ribbon back in Leiden a couple of years ago. So once the pandemic is over, then you and I may actually have to make it to Boston. I always want to go to Boston.
The two of us in Boston. Watch out. Now, it is my honor. You have spoken to Joost?
I have spoken to Joost.
And so you know this to be a fact. He did purchase this pen store. But was this not already an open and operating pen store?
Yeah, it used to be a McDonald's, but he thought, it would be fun to do something radically different with the space. No, yes, it was indeed a working, operating, functional pen shop. Now, I don't know the exact details. I don't know if it was an owner retiring or that kind of stuff, but it was already a pen shop, and it is now an Appelboom pen shop.
And is it,
as I understand it,
is it currently open?
This I do not know.
Okay, so we have to find out. And we'll report
back
here. We have to
find out. So,
at the end of April.
If you're watching this, 2 tickets to Boston would go a long way in having you mentioned more often on this program.
I don't know. He gets lots of mentions. All right, but you can verify that it is indeed a fact.
No, it is 100% a fact.
100% a fact.
I have seen the pictures, unless it was a very interesting deep fake hoax, but I would assume that it was actually a fact, yeah.
Excellent. All right, what pens do you have to show us?
Well, I
funny
should show you this in order of appearance. I can actually instantly say all of these come from Appelboom. So who actually is getting a lot of exposure.
Wait, the one in the Netherlands or the one in Boston?
Yeah, that I think from the Netherlands, because that's how the whole DHL thing went down. Okay, let's start. I'll show you 2 at a time to not take up all evening. These may be recognized by some people as the vintage colored Lamy Sapphirize. Very nice pens.
Sapphirize. Yes, that's the Terracotta red and the safari green, I believe.
Yes, this is the terracotta red, and this is the safari green. Beautiful color schemes, and I think it's very nice. What I really like, I will say, what I really like is that the texture of the pens is very nice.
Yeah, isn't it? It's very nice.
It's not the smooth, slippery
Right. No, it has the texture.
plastic. It has a bit of a texture, which you can probably hear to my microphone.
Yes.
ASMR. So it's very nice, and I think it's quite nice. I also like the black nibs.
Yes, they did a really, really good job on these.
Very good job.
Now, did you happen to get the matching leather pen sleeves with them?
No, I'm not that fancy.
Oh, okay. Not that
So
fancy.
this is what I got. Like I'm happy that this is what I got. I got a stroopwafel.
Oh, well then we know where they came from.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not Boston.
By the way, do you remember that time that we were in the main shopping street in Leiden and we got the fresh ones, the really big ones
Yes.
that were fresh from the...
Yes.
That was good. That was a good day.
Have to go back there too.
We should.
Someone just needs to open a pen shop and we'll go.
Yeah, exactly. We can do that. Yeah.
And what are you going to do with these two? What did you call them? Safaris?
The Lamy Sapphires. Yes,
Sapphires.
that's the official German pronunciation.
Would it be
of course,
Lamy?
as you know, because
Lamy
you speak German.
Sapphire?
The Lamy Sapphire, and they will. I thought what I would do is just throw them in the bin.
Throw them in the
to
bin.
just save myself the trouble of all the stuff I like about it, I don't like about it. Look, people, it's just another safari in the bin. Like we know,
It is just
done.
another safari, but it does have that texture on it, and it is a retro color, and the colors are really nice. And all the good things about safari go with those pens. I like Lamy pens, so if you like safaris, you're going to love these.
So that's good. I mean, I'm happy.
Yeah, no. All
No,
right.
but it's nice. Like, I mean, I think they have, in all seriousness. Obviously, I'm going to review them. I think it's a very nice color scheme. I like them. I think they're nice looking pens. They did a good job. So
do you happen to have a favorite color of the two?
I find it hard to pick. I kind of like
I'm demanding it.
The earth green, but then I also kind of like the orange. I think if I had to pick, I would usually say the orange, but I'm going to go with the green now. I think it's a very nice color.
I found it hard to choose, but the Terra Red is my favorite. But I watched sales, and the Savannah Green was slightly ahead of the game. So people are choosing, or chose, the Savannah Green just a little bit more often than the Terracotta.
A simplest solution, you buy both. I mean,
yes, that's very simple. Just buy both.
$50 pen. It's.
I will admit that I did not buy either of them, because although I like their looks and I respect them highly, they would sit on my desk. I would never pick them up. I'd have to frame them and put them on a wall.
Which you could do.
I'm not opposed to that either, because they're works of art. Anyway, we've blown through 2/5 of your show. What else you got?
Well,
Three
why
more
don't you
pens.
show us some of your stuff? Because you said you had pens.
I have a pencil. I don't even know what that is.
Pencil.
I have a pencil.
Yeah. Nobody.
It's a Pentel
nobody
pencil.
Cares, Eric.
Nobody cares.
We don't care about the pencil. Wait,
I have a pencil.
I
have a Lamy. I have a Lamy 2000.
I have a Lamy 2000.
Now, the one thing about the Lamy 2000
Yeah.
is that I have this with an extra fine nib that is the broadest extra fine nib in the world. I
think the gold Lamy nibs are kind of known for that.
I had to take the pen apart to pull the nib to verify that it said extra fine on it, because I didn't believe it. I did not believe it. It is such, at very least, a medium nib. Or, yeah, so that's my Lamy. What else you got?
I have a Montblanc Elvis, which
As in Presley?
Elvis Presley, yeah. I have not yet read the entire backstory, because with the I think it's one of the great characters series, and as always with Montblanc, they tack on as many things as possible.
Lots of meaning in all the design.
There's a nut here, it seems to be, which probably has some sort of meaning.
Probably because he was a nut.
Yeah, that most likely, right? That's probably okay. Figured that out. This I'm assuming is a belt, but maybe it's a lapel. I don't know what the clip is. Again, I haven't read anything about it. I just haven't had time. It does have the white star, which is not a star, but the peak of the Mont Blanc. Yes, I know that, but it has Elvis on it, which.
Oh, well, we can't see it. Oh, we got
Well,
a
what I
glimpse
shall
of it.
do is I
We got a
shall
glimpse
attach
of it.
my device
Oh, yes,
to
attach
the
your
other
device.
device.
Everybody liked that. It takes you out of focus. Oh, a studded Elvis. How interesting. All right.
Yeah, and then you have the clip. Speaking of texture, it's definitely very textured. I can think I could probably shave down calluses with this. This is the nut.
Right.
And then here we have the piston turning knob, which has an odd shape. So that's probably his, I don't know, his heels or like whatever they came up with. So that's the Elvis.
Well, the one thing we know for sure is that there's a reason for every design element. You just have to read
There
about
is a
it.
reason.
You have to read about it.
I will say, I will give them that. There is a reason for every detail on it. I just don't know what it is yet because I haven't read the whole booklet that came with it. But so there we have that. What else you got?
There was something. It just slipped my mind. Oh, speaking of pens that came and went, I don't know if you even saw a picture of it. The Sailor Habanero, Too Hot Habanero, the one with the chili pepper on the finial.
Yeah.
That was wildly popular, and it's a Sailor, so they're popular. But the only thing I can see from that pen that was different was the chili pepper in the finial because it was cute, and so everybody had to have it. Now I didn't take a survey. So I don't know why people bought it. I just know that it flew out the door.
Well, I think that's what it is, though. I think that, and I am serious, I think Sailor does a very good job with that kind of marketing, with putting weird little cute things on it, whether it's habaneros or cats or little cactus or whatever, but it's cute, and then people want it. And I think that's actually very smart marketing.
Well, it is.
Because
in
small variations, it costs you almost nothing to add that as an element, and people all want that, and it's very collectible.
It was also a limited edition, so I think there was, I'm going to lie here, the 888 pieces worldwide, but that might have been the Twisby, I don't know. They called it the Habanero, Too Hot Habanero, because of the color of the pen, but the chili pepper in the finial was not an habanero chili. It was some other kind of chili. So, but that didn't matter. Everybody had to have it. And it was a cute pen. It was a very cute pen.
But I do think that at this point, you probably should write them a letter.
Okay.
Because I think that it is unacceptable that they call it the habanero, but then it's not actually habanero, it's actually some sort of different pepper. I mean, what if I go around, I go here to Sobeys, I buy 5 bell peppers and I say, too hot to handle. I mean, this is not how it works. You can't just do.
Apparently, Dr. Brown, that is how it works. They have
proved it. Yeah, that's the worst thing.
So
like, I mean, what if the next one is a cucumber, but there's actually a carrot on it?
They might sell. If people like carrots, they might like that.
They might. So
a carrot and a finial would be very cute.
Hello, Sailor. Put a carrot on your pen, and then people will buy it. It's free advice, marketing advice. You have 2 people well-versed, fingers firmly in the pulse of the pen world. Get us a carrot pen.
Yes. Put a carrot on that finial, you'll sell them like...
Little carrot.
Like hotcakes, I was going to say, but Then they should put a hotcake on the finial. And then they'll sell like carrots.
Anything. A little chocolate bar. Little squares, a little bite out of it. Nope, 5,000 sold.
Especially with that bite out of it, yeah. It's just a little cute thing. Now they're just adding cute things. Because none of us really need any more pens. We need cute things on our pens. What else you got?
It's just how it works. Shall I whip out something else?
Yep.
I'm going to hold this up. You won't know what it is.
That's a pen.
Because it's black and sort of dull gold. Brass, dull brass. You know what this is. This is, in fact, the Montblanc Egyptomania.
Aha.
Now, basically a black pen, but I'll show you what makes it. Let me just clip on this device again. Sorry for the. It has a cartouche with some hieroglyphs on it, which says something in Egyptian, and then here there's a scarab.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's it, really. Like there isn't really anything else to make it identifiably Egyptian. This is the nib. which I know you can't see me, which has a scarab on it, and that's it. Really?
Yeah, and some numbers on the nib.
It has some stuff on it now. 4810 obviously. 14 karat nib. Eric, it's extra fine.
Oh, has my name on it.
Yeah, you want it? It's $900.
Send it over.
All right, deal.
But those numbers on the
yours.
nib, so that's 4/8/10 is it April 8th, or no, that'd be August 4th because it's Europe. August 4th, 1910, is that when the company was founded?
No, it's the height of the Mont Blanc.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In what, feet?
But to make sure that we all understand it, it's the Mont Blanc, right?
Oh, the Mont Blanc.
The Mont Blanc, it's a mountain in Greece, and that's what it's named after. It's a holy mountain with monasteries on it.
In Greece. Did you say that?
In Greece.
Okay. I thought you said that.
It's called
I was
Mont Athos.
processing.
Yeah.
Now, what did you call that pen? Besides a Mont Blanc?
It's the Montblanc Egyptomania.
What's the filling system? Looks like, is there a turning knob down there?
No, it's a piston.
Okay, piston filler.
At least, I mean, or a captive converter, but being Mont Blanc, I would assume it's an actual piston. It's very smooth, but it's inked, so I can't twist it more than that, because that would be the Mont Blanc would erupt, because we know it's an active volcano in Greece with monasteries on it.
So, did you fill the pen?
I did fill the
All right,
pen.
so you know it's a piston converter. A piston.
It is piston-esque. I mean, it sucks up ink. We turn a knob, yeah.
You turn a knob, something. Oh, you don't really know what's going on inside the pen because you can't see it.
We never know. And there's an interesting discussion that you and I need to have, and this is, in fact, the very moment to do it.
All right, let's have it.
Because sorry, the scarab poisoned me. I had a discussion. We had a discussion. People had a discussion on one of my videos, and I need your opinion on it. So,
I say yes.
I think it's actually an interesting discussion. So these days, forget about cartridges. We have converters and piston fillers. Now, when I think of a converter, I don't have any pen here with a converter, but you know what I mean.
I do.
Converter. Then you have piston fillers. When I think of a piston filler, I think of something like a Twisby, a Montblanc 149, a Pelican M1000, like anything like an actual piston filler. But then now you have, not now, I mean, you've had this for a while, but it seems to be really popular now to just have a captive converter, so a converter that you can't actually remove.
Right.
So that you operate with a knob.
In case you needed to see converter, this is a converter in a section, and it's removable.
Exactly.
But like you said, now we're seeing captive converters.
Yes, which is a converter, but you can't remove it. So that is a captive converter. And then sometimes I feel that is actually just the converter you've just shown us, but just mounted into the pen with a turning knob.
Yeah, sometimes they're a little beefier than...
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes they're a little bigger. Like, for example, Leonardo, in some of their... now they have true piston fillers, but at some point had this sort of captive converter system that was... And at some point, someone asked... And I actually thought it was a very good question. Does this matter? Does it actually matter whether we call... Because what really is the difference between a piston, a true, quote-unquote, true piston filler, and a captive converter, especially if you have the beefy one? In both cases, you just twist the knob at the end and it sucks up ink. What does it matter? So, Eric, does it matter?
Well, it depends on how intricate you want to be in your definitions. You said Pelican. Pelican is a piston, and inside of this Pelican there is not a captive converter. It uses the walls of the barrel of the pen to hold the ink in place and create the space for the ink. And so there is a difference between a captive converter and a piston that just sucks ink into the barrel of the pen and holds it in the barrel. And to me, captive converters are just that, converters. And I think I've seen some of them being called pistons. Well, yes, they use a piston, but they're not really a piston filler, truly, because it just, for me, a piston filler will put ink into the barrel of the pen, and the ink will touch the inside of the barrel of the pen. So does it matter? No, you still have ink in your pen. It still writes.
Well, exactly, and that's, I think, the most interesting part of the question, because, yeah, if we go by definitions, absolutely, there's a difference, it's clear, and I think my definition would be exactly yours. If the inside of the barrel is the ink reservoir, then it's a true piston filler, period. But does it matter? And I thought, I don't really care, and so I feel the same way as you do. I don't have to reiterate the argument, because my arguments would be exactly the same. Now, I have another question for you, because I found myself first using cartridges and converters, as I think many starters in the pen world do, and then I gravitated towards, no, it has to be a piston filler, and at this price it has to be a piston filler. But now I kind of find myself not caring so much, but in fact I kind of enjoy cartridge converters because they're so easy to clean. Do you have an opinion on that?
I can't disagree that they are easier to clean. The 146, I just keep the same ink in it because cleaning it completely is an impossibility. A Pelican, the nib comes out, so that makes it easy to clean. The Lamy 2000, I keep the same ink in it. I will rinse it, but I won't try to get every last hint of ink out of it. I just put the same ink in it. The upside is they hold a bit more ink than a converter.
Yeah.
But if what you want is convenience when cleaning, don't get a piston, unless the nib is removable, because the Pelicans are pretty easy to clean if you're comfortable removing the nib and putting it back. So yeah, so much easier to clean because it gives you access to the back of the nib and use a bulb syringe to clean the nib out that way. Pistons are very difficult to clean.
And then there's also the observation of maintenance. Like lubricating a piston is not always easy. Like on your 146, you would have to take out the nib unit, and that is not an easy thing necessarily on the Montblanc without proper tooling.
No, I would send that in. The Pelican I could do. Yes. What was the question?
Well, it wasn't a very interesting question, but I mean, the upkeep, because that's another thing that if I have, for example, I have found that Omas pens are very finicky when it comes to nibs and feeds. I have had some where the nib and feed pulled out of a collar, and after that they were almost impossible to get in without having a gap between the nib and the feed, and they don't write anymore. But then Omas pistons are also notoriously fragile and crack and break and do all kinds of things. So if they don't stay lubricated, there's a bigger chance that they're going to just snap, and with Omas out of business, it could be a concern. It could be a concern for people. Like, well, if your piston does break, then your pen is gone. You can just bin it. I mean, just like they could be next to the safaris in the bin. You know?
Yeah. So you're taking a stand against true piston filling mechanisms.
I think the time has come for pistons to end. No, I'm just kidding. I don't like. I don't. I'll be lynched. No, so I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I do. Let me rephrase the argument a little bit, and I'll be very brief. But so you know, I won't be.
Yes, exactly.
But what I kind of object to a little bit now that I didn't do before, and I'm guilty of this too, is that people would say, at this price, a pen should have a piston filler. And that, I don't know if that's a reasonable argument. That was not the question I put to you first. But I don't know if I really see that, say, a modern day piston, I'm not talking about Montblanc's vintage revolutionary telescoping piston that was indeed a revolutionary invention, but a modern day piston, I don't know if a modern day piston adds $200 to the cost of the pen or something. I don't know if that's the case.
Well, I don't know if I could put a dollar amount to it, but I would imagine there's more engineering in a pen where the entire pen body is built around the piston.
Yeah, but it's a piston and a clutch and a knob.
Right.
So I don't know
so
if there's
what you're saying. What you're saying here. What you're saying.
Than I mean at the sound. That's not. No, I mean that's not
what you're saying.
I don't know.
Is that all piston converter? This Pelican here is really just a glorified converter, is what you're saying.
Well, no, but think about it. There's a piston with a piston rod.
Yes.
There's some sort of clutch mechanism, and there is a turning knob. Like it's not like it's made of ground up diamonds or like it's not that there is.
No, this
anything...
one is made of tortoise shell apparently. So.
Well, yeah, but yeah, nice. But I mean, but the piston is plastic, or maybe it's brass. But I mean, often these days they're just plastic. What I'm trying to say is, if TWSBI can make a functional
and they do
piston fill pen for $50, then I don't think it's going to cost that much more. Anyway, I don't know if this is even remotely interesting discussion to have for people to listen to, but I just find it interesting to ask people who love pens, and you're one of them, how they feel about that. I don't think there's a right answer, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot or something, because I myself kind of switch, because there are pens that I have, like take Conid. Conid has some would say over-engineered filling system. I really like that filling system. I think it's really nice. And I think that if that pen would have a cartridge converter, then I probably would be disappointed. Part of the fun in that pen for me is that filling system. So the experts have spoken, and they said, well, depends on the pen. Okay, what a fantastic conclusion. I'm so happy that we had this conversation.
Well, I can say that a piston filler should add $200 to the price of a pen.
No, and that was a number that I could just came up with, right?
Because
like
obviously it doesn't have to be that way. We've got TWSBI selling piston fillers.
Oh, I've just told them. Oh.
But you're right. I'd have to think about it. I do think piston fillers, true piston fillers, should add something to the value of the pen, rather than just a converter.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, what I'm saying.
You think about it, and next time that's your homework, you come back with
Dr. Brown.
an answer.
My answer is that a piston filler should add some value to a pen. How much value, I don't know.
At what point, at what price would you say, yeah, piston filler? Like, at what price would you expect a pen to be a piston filler?
Oh, no, see,
$100?
That I'd have to think about.
$500? $1,000?
Well, are you saying in the real world or in my mind? Because I can pick real world examples and say, you know, what TWSBI selling things for $65, $70 that have a piston filler in them. Of course, it's also a steel nib. So you have to consider the nib material.
Yeah. Sure. It comes into play, I would assume, right?
And then, you know, there's Emperors that are $2,000 that don't have any kind of filling system. You just pour ink in them.
Yeah, but they do have a one-way shut-off valve, though.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, they do have a bit of a regulation of you know.
I don't know. $300. I'm going to say that right now. If it's over $300, it should have a piston filler, a real piston filler. Now, that's not true. That's not reality, because we see pens priced well beyond that do not have a true piston filler. But you asked me for a number, and I gave you one.
Okay, I'm satisfied.
Okay, thank God. Can we move on?
Yeah, by all means. No, I thought this was an interesting discussion. Let us know in the comments, #discussion, if you liked this discussion.
Oh, come on. Who doesn't like talking about filling systems?
Yeah, and who doesn't like to listen to us talking about filling systems?
I don't know that person. I don't know if
That's a real question.
I don't know if that person exists. What's your next pen?
My next pen is Platinum Curidas.
Curidas. Oh, yes. Have you never had one of those?
No.
Oh, you're in for a treat.
I have talked to Joost a couple of times, and apparently there were some issues with obtaining them. What a fascinating pen, Eric. What a fascinating pen.
Anything else?
I've never seen so many moving parts on a single pen.
That is fascinating. Well, I wonder if they made a demonstrator of the vanishing point, what it would look like.
Well, but
How
think
does
of the
that work in
vanishing
there?
point. Think of the vanishing point. You unscrew the barrel and the clicky part.
That's true. That's true.
And then the whole nib unit comes out. Now let me just for the fun here.
That is true.
Let me unscrew this.
Please demonstrate.
Okay? So we have the barrel, and then this part sort of just comes out. So now we have two parts, and then the third part comes out. So that's just the clicky bit. That's already 3 moving parts. Then we have this thing here, and I thought when I got it, I thought, oh, I didn't read the manual. Just put in the converter, put in the cartridge. No. You have this sort of clutch mechanism here, and then this part comes out. Now, don't forget the spring, because that comes out as well. So that's moving part.
And it's kind of important.
4. Then we have part number 6. There is moving parts in here which don't come out, and the clip comes out. Then you have this sort of nib unit thing, and you think, oh, that's it. No, that's not it, because there is another clutch mechanism there. There you have another moving part. And then here you have a nib unit with, in this case, a cartridge stuck into it. So I have here 1, 2, if I just count the section as one part, which it's not, but for the user, I think that's going to be one piece. So now we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts that all come apart and that can all be lost. So there's a lot going on, Eric. There's a lot going on in this pen.
They're fun. If you like to tinker, they're fun. If you like taking things apart. No, I have to take apart the vanishing point just to see the simplicity of it. Now, the evolution of the vanishing point is much further along.
It is.
And I guess they couldn't just take a vanishing point and copy it completely.
So I think what you're saying is that the Curidas is a lamprey eel or something, which is, and the vanishing point may be a chimpanzee at this.
Could be. I know people
but
like
it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I think it looks great.
And
I'm not trying to make fun of it. And I particularly enjoy these gun sights there that you can sort of you can walk around and look like it's really it's very exciting. I heard a lot of issues about cracking issues with the plastic.
I think that was in the first version. I think you probably have a second version there. They did some sort of rework of some kind.
Yeah.
So very likely, if you just got it, you have the second iteration. See, it's already evolving.
No, it is. It is.
So the last version had 13 pieces. You've only got 7 now, right?
It's some sort of one of those basically lamprey eel with legs. No.
Yeah. And you've written with it.
I have written with it. I think it's I genuinely think it's fun. I find it a bit girthy.
It's surprisingly girthy, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I mean, not girthier than your girthiest pen, of course, but
no.
If you until you get it in your hand, you don't picture it in your mind as being as girthy as it is. So yes, that is true.
What you said. But yeah, no, that's true. And another thing.
Yeah, thanks for that, Brown.
Another thing that I found is that the button really takes a significant push. It's a very. Are you okay?
I don't think so, but I'm listening. Go ahead.
No,
Change the subject.
I mean, it's a significant push. It's a very very deep push. But.
Oh yes, the button is like very long. Comparatively speaking.
I don't know, a fifth of the pen or something.
Yeah, I think that is a very nice pen. I think the price point is right too on that pen, and I don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
It's about, if I convert it correctly, it's about 100.
Right,
110,
so
something around.
You pay a little more for the Vanishing Point, but the Vanishing Point is just. I mean, they've been doing this for years and years and years, so they got it right, and that is just a different iteration. You know, and kudos to someone else for trying to get a button-activated fountain pen.
Yeah, because it solves a problem that I never had. Like I never thought to myself, I wish I could just uncap this pen with one hand, but now I can.
You never had that thought?
I have never found myself in a situation where I thought, I really wish I could uncap this pen with one hand. No.
Or that the cap didn't exist? Or that you could just start writing with it? Because that
No.
happens to me a lot. Because it always takes
No,
two
I
hands
think-
to get your pen ready.
And the reality is, I think that there are a lot of professions where this is incredibly handy, where you just take something out and you just start writing.
Well, yeah,
And you don't
I
want to-
know chefs who keep it in their
Yeah,
chef's
and
jacket, and they just pull it out and they can start writing with
Yeah.
it right away with one hand. And
Yeah.
yeah, lots of professions, as you say.
Yeah,
if they're not
imagine that you're a Formula One driver and you're racing,
Imagine.
but you also need to quickly.
I imagine
you
that
can't-
every day. I don't know.
Every day.
And I keep vanishing points in both hands.
Yeah, and then you can do a Kimbo writing. Like it's all these options. It's.
So many options. Yes. So, do you own no vanishing points?
Let me say this about that. No.
Have you never owned a vanishing point?
No, I have owned a vanishing point. But the reality is, there's nothing wrong with the vanishing point. I think it's a great design. The only issue I had with it is that I never used it because I didn't have need for a pen that I could uncap with one hand. So I just and that's, again, I'm not trying to be belligerent or annoying about it. It's just that it didn't add anything for me, and I didn't find it a comfortable enough writer to want to own one. It's a great piece of engineering. It works great. It's just that it was not for me. I had no use for it.
Gotcha. Yeah, probably a smaller pen for you.
Yeah, but the size is fine. I mean, I think this is quite girthy, but I mean, the vanishing point, the size was fine. I have no issues with it. It's just that it offered, again, it solved a problem that I just didn't have. I don't have need for a pen that can be uncapped with one hand. So that was it. But it's a great pen. I mean, they write wonderfully. The nibs are great. Like, I really like that, but I didn't like it enough to then keep it.
Do you have any thoughts on caps that are slip caps versus caps that are twist caps?
Yeah,
Let's hear them.
I do. No, I think that this too is a matter of advantages, disadvantages. I find that slip cap is easier. This
Okay.
is easier,
Yes.
right? But sometimes they come off when I don't want them to come off.
When
And
has that ever
to be
happened?
easier. I found that
Has
easier
that happened?
with slip caps. Like you have this, it just came off, right? That can happen, and would be harder with a screw-on cap. Now, having said but it can happen. Now, having said that, my concern with slip caps is that they become loose over time, and I can't use them anymore. My concern with screw-on caps is that often they are acrylic or whatever plastic caps on metal threads on a barrel. Not always, but sometimes. And then I think this metal is going to strip that plastic, and when that plastic is stripped, then I can't use that pen anymore either. So either way, I'm screwed.
Yeah, you should
But
just stop
having said
using
that-
pens.
Well, the simplest solution would be this type of pen where I don't have the issue, right?
You've got all kinds of potential issues in that pen too, as well.
Well, I mean, what could go wrong? It only has 50 different moving parts. I mean, that doesn't look like anything is about to break at all. But I mean, beyond that, no. But I mean, so yeah, no. So I mean, if you were to give me the choice, would you like a slip cap or a screw-on cap? Probably a screw-on cap. And if I just quickly run the inventory, I think most of the pens I own.
Well, I think
have
most pens are
screw-on
made
caps.
with screw-on caps. I think it's much more
Yeah.
difficult to make a good slip-on cap.
Yeah.
That has a click.
But take the Ardelet.
yeah.
great
Okay,
option.
let's take it.
Yeah.
I don't know that slip cap is ever going to give out. It is well made, well engineered, and very
Well, it's a
convenient.
pandemic. You're not going anywhere, so do this every day, all day long, 8 hours a day.
What do you
cap
think
on
I've been
cap,
doing
cap
for the
on.
last 13 months?
Well, there you go. And it's still not given out.
No, of course not. It's a Yarlet.
So, well, what do you prefer?
If I had my choice, I'd take a slip cap. It's
Really?
much easier. You're just
Well,
writing
no
right
problem.
away. I mean, yes, it's much easier. But I think it is much more costly to design and make a slip cap, a well-designed slip cap.
Because the Lamy 2000 has those weird prongs,
Right.
doesn't it? Like the
weird prongs. I think, what do they call that? A little clutch of some kind is there that grabs onto it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever give out, but that could actually be replaced if that's the only thing that's holding it on there. Yeah, slip caps are more convenient. You know, not a huge amount more convenient, but if you put them side by side, you will be writing with the slip cap faster than your screw-on cap.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we should time it where you have
Yes, we should do that.
Point, a Dialogue 3, a Curidas, some slip caps, some screw-on caps. Because then the other issue is how many turns in the screw-on cap? Some are 2.5.
Some are 13,000.
3/4. Yeah, some keep going.
Yeah, what is the... Isn't it the... Let me just check. Yes, the Franklin Christoph Model 66 desk pen is like half a turn, half a complete turn.
Yeah.
And so that's very convenient if you're going to have a screw-on cap. But I have run into pens that are like 13 times or something.
I know. Yeah, me too.
And
it's incredibly obnoxious.
Something you wouldn't think of, but when you're trying to open that pen, okay, this is taking too long.
Yeah.
So we've solved all the problems.
Half a year later, you
can
can write your check. It doesn't work.
Are you still writing checks?
No, I don't have to. No. In the Netherlands,
you told me. No checks at all.
We abolished checks within my lifetime, and here in Canada, we do have checks. There are checks.
Yeah, checks still exist here. Just out of curiosity, why were checks abolished in the Netherlands?
Because it's an outdated system, and then we moved on to a more like it's either cash money or it's a debit card or it's a credit card. There are no further options, so you cannot write a check for $1.44 to buy milk in the supermarket. Like it's cash, credit card, debit. Actually, in order: cash, debit card, credit card, and that's it. There were no checks, no more checks.
But how long ago did they? You mean abolish? They made them illegal?
Yeah, you can't use them.
Can't use them. No one accepts them. No one writes them.
There's no checks. So if you were to say you were to go to buy a new car, and you want to write a check for 13,000 euros, so just make a number up, right? You can't do it. Can't do it. It's not possible.
Well, yeah, I couldn't do it because I wouldn't have any checks to write. The bank didn't give me any checks.
No, there's no checks. They have to do it another way. Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
I also remember how back in the day we had the guilder, the gulden, as a currency, and within my lifetime, we had a 5 guilder coin and we had a 5 guilder bill, and they abolished the 5 guilder bill. It was green and it was gone. Could no longer be used. It's a country with ruthless efficiency. No,
yes,
no more 5 guilder bills. No checks. No.
Yeah, there's really no reason that we need a $1 bill in the United States, but we simply won't give them up. We don't like the coins.
There you go.
They put out dollar coins quite often, and we don't use them. We refuse. No, we want paper.
Yeah.
And we still have cents. I don't know why we still have pennies.
It sounded like a good idea at the time.
Well, it was a good idea at the time.
I have another question that I was asked and that I had to look up, but I wonder if you know the answer because you're so wise and well versed in the way
Put me on the
world.
spot, Dr. Brown. The answer is no.
No, it's not a yes
Blue.
or no question. Do you know if when we plate gold nibs with rhodium, why there are no solid rhodium nibs? Because I was asked this question. I had a working hypothesis. I think that was the correct answer. Have you ever asked yourself the question, why not make solid rhodium nibs?
No, I've asked myself about solid silver nibs, and I found that silver, my research indicated that silver would be too soft a metal to hold the shape and perform its duties as a nib, so I'm going to guess the same thing is true for rhodium.
It turns out, I have here my notes, that when I looked this up, now this is probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, on that day, the price for gold per gram was $56.11, which is good that you have pennies, because otherwise you would just get 10 cents, but now you can actually get 11 cents. So if you were to have 1 gram of solid gold, it would be $56.11. All right. If you were to have 1 gram of rhodium, it would be $932.37.
And so you think that's why?
I think that's why. It could also be a metallurgical aspect, if it may not be.
Right, but you found a very good possible reason, so you stopped.
Is that if the ka-ching is involved, that's usually a pretty good indication.
Now, what's a gram of steel cost?
Penny?
I don't know. You're doing the research.
Nickel?
Because we have steel nibs and gold nibs and decorated gold nibs.
But now imagine this.
Okay.
You buy a fountain pen. It comes with a steel nib. But then it says there's a gold nib upgrade. How much would a gold nib number 6 weigh? I bet it's less than a gram. A gram of pure gold, 24K, is $56. 14K is only 58%, right? 58.8, but rounded it always to 58.5. That's the 585 in the AU content that's stamped on your nib. Now, $56 for a gram. Let's say the nib weighs exactly a gram.
Okay.
$56 for 1 gram. That's 24K. Now you get a 14K nib, and then the upgrade is $160. I have the feeling that somewhere along the line, someone comes out on top there, and it's not the buyer of the nib. Hashtag food for thought.
I've always thought that they were profiteering off gold nibs. However, I also admit that I don't know what goes into making gold hold a shape as a nib. What exactly do they have to do to the poor material to make it be a nib?
Well, you make an alloy, and I don't know beyond that, but I mean, what I do know is that if you order from Bock, you have, which is one of the, for our viewers who don't know, it's one of the biggest nib manufacturers in the world. And if you want to buy nibs from them, you can if you buy 5,000. So I'm assuming, at least I thought it was 5,000. I could be wrong. It was something like that, a huge number. So I bet they have the process pretty pinned down.
Yeah,
to
they
make
know what
nibs.
they're doing.
I think they kind of have it pinned down. If they can just say 5,000, sure, done.
Yeah, but then you're going into the manufacturer sells it to. I mean, it goes through 3 steps: the manufacturer to the distributor to the retailer to the consumer, and everybody just doubles the price until we pay 4 times what it's actually worth.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I don't think that's anything new.
So I think that what you and I need to do is get a gold mine.
All right.
Learn how to
I'm
make
on board.
nibs.
You can stop talking already.
Like, we're done. Like it's done. You there is much money to be made here, because without the middleman, we can offer $100 gold nibs, still make 100% profit.
Right, but I don't even think we need the gold mine, because apparently you said we can buy the gold already mined. All we need to do is figure out how to make it into nibs.
Yeah, which is probably, I mean...
Use a little hammer, right? Some sort of little anvil and a hammer. Yeah.
Hi-ho, and then just the hammer and the stuff. Like, we can do this.
We can do that at night. In our spare time. Yeah.
No problem.
And then we can just give them away.
Yeah.
We can put our initials on them.
Yeah, we could.
We've used up
and
an
if
entire...
we do mine first and then yours, then it says SE, and that stands for Special Edition, and then people buy it for sure.
Absolutely. Special Edition.
Win-win situation.
If we do your last name first, and you're the initial of your last name first and the initial of my last name first, we get BO. So...
and if I reverse mine, then I get BS. So either way, this is not
BS,
the correct avenue to pursue.
That might sell.
It might.
I'd buy a BS nib. We have filled an entire hour of nonsense. You have anything?
Yeah, but it was so entertaining.
Have anything of import to tell us? Anything on the horizon for April? Oh, I have a birthday next month. That's interesting.
You have what? Sorry?
A birthday next month.
Yes.
You knew that.
Yeah, you're turning 74.
Yes, exactly. I don't know how you knew that off the top of your head.
So fast.
But
No, I remember, and it's happy, and it is. Trust me, because it's marked in my calendar.
oh yes, as yours is on everyone's.
Yeah, I know it should be.
Apple gives me a calendar, has your birthday on it already.
Yeah.
Don't know how. Of course,
Well,
it says you're turning 19.
In most countries, my birthday is a national holiday. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the Dutch Tilburg Pen Show, the Netherlands, tiny country, now two, but back in the day, one pen show. Where was it? Tilburg. Where was
were you
Esbjerg
born?
Brown born? Tilburg. You think that's a coincidence?
Well, that's what he
I don't
claims.
think so.
I mean, I've never seen the birth certificate.
Well, I can send it to you.
All right, I'll wait. I'll wait for it.
Yeah, no, I was actually born in Kenya, but that's a different.
Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So, these pens you got, you're obviously going to review them.
Yeah. And then I'll bin them.
And then you bin
None
them.
of these should be. None of these should actually.
So
not,
we should look for these reviews on your YouTube channel
Yeah.
soon.
Oh my god. Well, oh my god, Eric, I'm spilling ink everywhere. There's ink all over my desk. It's disgusting. Look at this. Look at this. Anyway, what I can say is that at this point in time, I actually have reviews scheduled until June 28th.
Okay, so these pens we won't see for a while.
You may never see them, but because I'm going to bin them. But having said that,
Because I don't watch your channel, as I won't ever see.
No, nor should you, man. It's just inane crap all the time. What I will say about it is this: the Curidas is so hot that I'll push that forward. The review is short, so it's not a big deal. But that's going to be pushed forward a little bit. So I think that should be coming soon. Elvis, I'm sorry, but thank you very much. It's just not really happening anytime soon. And the that's really bad. And the Egyptomania, it's an extra fine nib, so you're probably never gonna see it because who wants to use an extra fine nib?
Yeah, I don't understand people like that.
No, I don't get it. Must be something wrong with it.
Send it to me, I'll review it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, you can. It's. I don't have the price here. I think it's only $900. Like these are bargains, right? The Montblancs. And what do you get? A plastic pen with a hieroglyph on it and a scarab there. So I mean, it's where you think about it.
What's on the top of the pen? What's on the top?
Yeah, I'll show you. Let me put my device back on because we have three.
Please do.
Look, are you ready for this?
Yes. Wow. Very Egyptian-esque.
I know. This was their opportunity to put a little pyramid there, but no, it had to be the white star, but not white. So now it's
right, not white.
Brass. I don't know. I haven't read the
it might be
description,
gold.
But some metal. It looks antique. I do like that antique.
It has a nice look to it.
Finish on the metal.
It has a nice look. Well, when you first held it up, I thought it was an Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
You were holding it so far away. It has this, I bet, the same shape.
And it has facets, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I didn't think I noticed the facets.
I think it has your name on it. Extra fine, smooth writer, scarab,
Piston filler, I prefer
piston
those.
filler.
If they're over $500.
And what you do, let me put my device back on. So what the... what you don't know is that these hieroglyphs actually spell out your name.
Oh, I knew that as soon as I saw it. I didn't want to mention it.
I know. And they're in a cartouche.
Yes, and thank goodness they are, because it keeps them captive. They'd escape.
Yeah. I think that, in fact, from this moment onwards, you should always put your name in a cartouche.
As of tomorrow, April Fool's Day, I will begin that.
Sounds like a great idea.
I'm going to say goodnight, Dr. Brown, unless you have anything else to add.
God save the Queen.
God save the Queen. She's doing all right, for last I heard.
There were some issues with pedophilia, but beyond that, yeah, nothing new.
I don't think she was involved.
She was not.
No, okay.
At least not as far as we know. That is true.
Right, yeah. And then there was that whole ship in the Suez Canal got stuck for a few days.
Yeah.
That's all behind us now.
A man, a planet.
No, that was the wrong. That was the wrong canal.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, a man, a planet, canal, Suez.
Suez.
It doesn't work that way, does it?
No, apparently it doesn't work. And I was fascinated to learn that they do not insist that the boats passing through use the tugboats. It's an option that the captain has.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think that's... maybe going forward we should just insist.
Yeah, but this is the continuous, like the habitual overestimation of one's own capacities, right? That happens all the time.
But it's
No,
their canal. If it was
Famous
my
last
canal,
words.
I would want... I'm going to take you through my canal here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, anyway, thank you very much. We'll do this again sometime. Maybe
I would say so. And let me
Okay.
see what the last day of the month for April is.
probably
It's
the
going
30th.
to be, yeah, obviously, it's going to be a Friday, so that should be fun.
Friday, April 30th. We'll get that up.
Special episode.
Special episode. See what other kind of goodies we can have for that one.
Friday.
Friday, April 30th.
Yeah, because I will say, I have more interesting things coming in, so stay
Well, I
tuned.
cannot wait to see them. And
Ah.
we see them here first because your reviews are so backed up.
Exactly.
Exactly. All right, Dr. Brown. Have a
Thank
very
you
good
so
evening.
much.
And I will take us off the air if I can
All
find
right.
that button.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.